Hi there, and welcome to a little presentation on linear equations. So today you're going to learn, or hopefully just be reminded, how to solve some linear equations. You're going to need to use this knowledge that you're going to get just now to solve some questions later, so that you'll be able to go off and buy things to make your bridge. So please listen carefully. Okay, so on the whiteboard we've got a simple example of a linear equation which reads 5x equals 20, which just means 5 times x equals 20. So we're just looking for a number that multiplied by 5 will give us the answer of 20. Now, on the left hand side of the screen there's some keywords. The first one, coefficient or multiple, just relates to the number which is multiplied by x. So that's the coefficient. A variable or unknown is simply x itself. It's the thing that we're trying to find. It's the thing that is not yet known, but we will find out. Okay, so when we're looking to solve for a variable, to work out what that variable is, we need to look at the operations that have been performed on it within the expression on the left hand side. Now when I say operations, we mean times or multiply, divide, add, subtract. You might come across some things that have got squares or maybe square roots, but maybe we'll just for the moment stick with multiply, divide, add and subtract. So in this case the x has been multiplied by 5. If I just flick the pencil on, what we need to do is get everything other than the x term over to the right hand side. In order to do that, we can take the multiply by 5 and take it to the other side, but when it passes the equal sign the operation will change and become the opposite. Now the opposite of times is divide, so we're going to divide both sides by 5, and that process we're going to continue with each of the examples, but in this case that leaves us with x equals 20 divided by 5, which can just be written like this. I'm sure most of you have worked out already that x will equal 4. Great thing about linear equations is when you've got your answer of x equals 4, you can check to make sure you haven't made any silly mistakes. So if you take this value of x as 4 here and put it into the original left hand side of that equation, we will have 5 times 4, because that's the value we found for x, and that indeed does equal 20. Because these two numbers are the same, so the original question and our check answer, that means we know that's the right answer and we can give ourselves a tick. That was a fairly straightforward example. I'm going to move on. Now this looks a little more complicated. What we've added in here particularly is this plus 1. Okay, this plus 1 we call a constant because it will never change, it will always be 1. And we need to rearrange using this key concept on the right, so rearrange to get all the variables to the left, variables being the x values, and all the numbers over to the right. And I'm going to do the plus 1 part first. So we're going to take the plus 1 over to the other side of the equation. The opposite of plus is minus, so that's going to be minus 1 by the time it gets to the other side of the equation. So we'll be looking at having x over 2 equals 21 minus 1. So x divided by 2 will equal 20. Okay, now we're going to look at moving this number to the right hand side. This is a x divided by 2, so when we move this one over this way, the opposite of divide is multiply. So we're going to multiply by 2. So x will equal 20 times by 2, which obviously equals 40. And there's our answer to number 2. Okay, on to number 3. Two things to notice about this equation. First of all, there are x values on both sides and numbers on both sides, which we'll have to deal with. The other thing to notice is we've got some brackets. Now you probably will remember how to expand brackets. And when I say expand, what we need to do is take the value outside and multiply it by everything that's inside. So in this case, we're going to take the 3 and multiply it by a value of x and a value of plus 1. So we'll have 3 times x, which is just written 3x, plus 3 times plus 1, which is 3. And that's going to equal x plus 9. Now, a little reminder to gather the x terms on the left hand side and the numbers on the right. I'm going to start with the x term. So we're going to take this x and move it across this way. This is a plus x, so the opposite is a minus x, which means this side of the equation will now read 3x plus 3 minus x equals, and all that's left on this side is just the 9. Okay, having a look at this. If we had 3 apples and took away an apple, we'd have 2 apples. It is no different with x's. If we have 3 sets of x over here and we take away a set of x here, that is going to leave us with 2x. So that is going to be 2x plus 3 equals 9. Okay, now we need to move this number, this constant, over to the right hand side, which will leave us just with a term including x. That's a plus 3, so when that one moves, it will become a minus 3. So 2x will equal 9 minus 3. 2x equals 6. Then similar to the first example, we then just need to divide through by the 2. So when the 2 moves over the other side, x will equal 6 divided by 2, which is 3. And there's your answer for number 3. Okay, so those examples should help you with any of the work that you are meant to be doing today. Just flick back to the PowerPoint. Things to remember. You need to rearrange equations with x terms on the left and numbers on the right. If the unknown or the x term is multiplied by a number, you need to divide, and those 3 dots just mean and you need to do the opposite for any other operation. So if it's a plus, then you need to minus, etc. And if you remember all that, then all I can wish you is good luck with the rest of your day. Make your house proud.